Welcome to World Epic History. Today, we journey into the heart of a vanished empire, to the city once called the Queen of Cities, Constantinople. For over 1,000 years, its churches and palaces guarded holy icons, relics, and treasures believed to carry the very grace of heaven. From fragments of the true cross to jeweled icons kissed by emperors, these sacred objects were not merely possessions, but symbols of divine protection. Yet many vanished in the chaos of conquest, hidden, stolen, or lost to time. What became of Constantinople's sacred wealth? Some lie in distant cathedrals, others remain shrouded in mystery. This is the story of faith, power, and forgotten Christian treasures that shaped both empires and legends. Welcome to Constantinople, once the shining capital of the Byzantine Empire, a city where faith and power intertwined. Within its towering walls lay treasures that spoke not only of wealth, but of sacred devotion. The Constantinople relics held within palaces, churches, and hidden chambers represented the spiritual heart of Eastern Christianity. Among them were holy icons said to perform miracles, relics of saints carried from distant lands, and artifacts that bound emperors to God's will. The Hagia Sophia, jewel of the city, guarded many of these treasures, shrouded in secrecy and reverence. Yet time, conquest, and neglect scattered them into legend. Tonight, we explore the lost relics of Constantinople, the Byzantine holy treasures, and the secrets of Hagia Sophia that still echo across history. The Hagia Sophia stood as more than a church. It was a vault of spiritual power. Byzantine holy treasures filled its chapels and crypts, fragments of the true cross, the robe of the Virgin Mary, and reliquaries adorned with gold and gems. Pilgrims traveled from distant lands to witness these wonders, believing the city itself was shielded by divine grace. The relics were not mere symbols. They were believed to channel protection over the empire. Every emperor who entered Hagia Sophia bowed before these relics, binding his reign to heaven's favor. Yet their destiny was uncertain. Wars, fires, and theft would place these treasures in jeopardy. The secrets of Hagia Sophia remained locked behind marble walls, and some of its treasures were hidden so deeply that even today their fate is unknown. The power of relics in Constantinople went beyond the church. Palaces contained private chapels where emperors guarded sacred objects that legitimized their rule. The Mandalion of Edessa, a miraculous image of Christ's face not made by human hands, was paraded through the streets to ward off invasion. Icons of the Theotokos, the Mother of God, were believed to shield the city itself. When enemies approached, priests raised these icons on the battlements, imploring heaven's aid. The Byzantines believed these relics formed a barrier no army could breach. For centuries, the treasures of Constantinople were as important as its mighty walls. Yet faith and fortune are fragile. As the empire weakened, relics became vulnerable, tempting invaders and crusaders who saw both spiritual and material wealth. Among Constantinople's most revered treasures was the relic of the Holy Lance, the spear said to have pierced Christ's side on the cross. Guarded in the imperial palace, it was believed to grant victory to Byzantine armies. Alongside it lay fragments of the Crown of Thorns and drops of Christ's blood preserved in jeweled vessels. Pilgrims wept when beholding these sacred objects, convinced they stood before direct links to salvation. These relics not only inspired awe, but also secured political power. To display them was to declare God's favor upon emperor and empire. Yet their fate mirrored that of Byzantium treasured, stolen, sold, and scattered. The relics of Constantinople tell the story of both devotion and loss, a saga of faith tested by time. The relics of Constantinople were not only sacred, but also strategic. When Crusaders arrived in 1204, during the Fourth Crusade, they did not come merely for conquest, they came for relics. Byzantine holy treasures, once guarded in Hagia Sophia, were ripped from altars and reliquaries. Icons of Christ and the Virgin, once kissed by emperors, were carried west to Venice, Paris, and Rome. The Crusaders justified their theft as preservation, but for the Byzantines, it was desecration. Constantinople's spiritual identity was stripped away piece by piece as its treasures vanished into foreign cathedrals. Even today, relics once belonging to the Byzantine heartland lie far from the city they once protected. The Crown of Thorns, once safeguarded in Constantinople, was among the treasures carried west. In the 13th century, it appeared in Paris, purchased by King Louis IX, who enshrined it in the Sainte-Chapelle. Fragments of the True Cross, once displayed in Hagia Sophia, found new homes in Venice and Rome. These relics, symbols of Byzantine devotion, became trophies of Western Christendom. For the Byzantines, their loss was not only material but spiritual. The empire had believed itself chosen, shielded by these holy artifacts. With their disappearance, a sense of divine protection weakened. Constantinople's walls still stood, but the relics that blessed them were gone, leaving the city more vulnerable than ever. But not all relics left the city. Some remained hidden, buried within the labyrinth of Hagia Sophia. Chronicles speak of secret chambers beneath its marble floors, where priests concealed treasures during invasions. Among them were said to be the sandals of Christ, the girdle of the Virgin, and relics of apostles carried from Jerusalem. These Hagia Sophia secrets fueled legends for centuries. Even Ottoman conquerors whispered that treasures still lay beneath the mosque after 1453. Mysteries of what remained, concealed in darkness, became part Constantinople's myth. Were these relics lost forever, or do they still sleep under stone in shadow? The fall of Constantinople in 1453 brought a final turning point. When Mehmed II entered Hagia Sophia, he found not only mosaics and domes, but whispers of treasure. Ottoman chroniclers described gold and relics hidden away, though many were never recovered. Some relics were seized and carried to Topkapi Palace, where sultans preserved them with reverence. Ironically, Islamic rulers safeguarded relics of Christ, John the Baptist, and other saints. These Byzantine treasures, now housed in Ottoman palaces, bridged faiths in unexpected ways. Yet many others disappeared, either taken in secret or lost to the chaos of conquest. Topkapi Palace became a new sanctuary for Constantinople relics. The Ottoman sultans, while Muslim, treated many of these Byzantine holy treasures with solemn respect. The relic of John the Baptist's hand, the sword of David, and fragments linked to prophets were preserved in guarded chambers. These treasures, known as the sacred trusts, blended into the Ottoman court's spiritual life. Pilgrims and dignitaries marveled that the legacy of Byzantium had found refuge under Islamic rule. Yet questions remain: how many treasures were truly preserved, and how many were hidden away, their existence whispered but never confirmed? The line between history and legend blurred inside Topkapi's walls. Among the most mysterious relics once linked to Constantinople was the Shroud of Christ, later known as the Shroud of Turin. Some scholars argued it passed through Byzantine hands, guarded in the city until the Crusades. Others believed it was hidden deep within Hagia Sophia before vanishing into the west. Whether this was truth or myth, it reveals how Constantinople is imagined as the keeper of the greatest relics in Christendom. Its reputation as a spiritual vault gave rise to legends far beyond its borders, shaping the imagination of Europe for centuries. The Byzantines themselves chronicled the treasures with pride. Imperial inventories listed chalices studded with emeralds, manuscripts bound in ivory, and icons said to heal the sick. These records became haunting reminders after the relics vanished. What had once filled Hagia Sophia's treasury now lay scattered, sometimes resurfacing in auctions or private collections centuries later. Each time a Byzantine relic appeared in Europe, it reignited debates about ownership, faith, and history. Constantinople's treasures became fragments of a larger story of a city whose spiritual wealth outlived its political might. Legends grew of hidden vaults beneath the city. Byzantine tunnels, cisterns, and catacombs formed a labyrinth that could conceal treasures. Some believed holy icons were sealed in underground chambers, awaiting rediscovery. Ottoman and later European explorers searched these depths, hoping to uncover Constantinople's forgotten Christian treasures. While some tunnels revealed coins or broken mosaics, the great relics remained elusive. The idea that they might still rest beneath modern Istanbul fuels both scholarship and myth. The city continues to whisper its secrets through stone and shadow. Hagia Sophia itself became a relic. Its mosaics of Christ Pantocrator, the Virgin, and the saints survived conquest, hidden beneath plaster for centuries under Ottoman rule. These shimmering images, uncovered in the modern era, reveal a glimpse of the sacred world that once defined Byzantium. Though the golden reliquaries may be lost, the walls of Hagia Sophia still radiate their own holiness. Each mosaic, each carved stone, is a fragment of the city's spiritual memory treasures, not portable, but eternal. The relics of Constantinople also shaped diplomacy. Emperors gifted fragments of the true cross or jeweled icons to Western rulers to secure alliances. These sacred exchanges bound states together, weaving faith into politics. When relics left the city willingly, they carried the aura of Byzantine majesty abroad. Yet each gift also weakened the spiritual treasury at home. Constantinople's holy treasures became both instruments of empire and omens of decline. By the late Byzantine period, the city's relics were as much symbols of survival as of faith. During sieges, icons were paraded across the walls, and processions wound through the streets carrying reliquaries. Citizens clung to these treasures as shields against despair. But as famine and war wore down the empire, even relics could not prevent its fall. The treasures became relics of hope as much as of holiness, symbols of a city that fought to endure against impossible odds. When the Ottomans took Constantinople, some relics were spared, others destroyed, and many lost to history. Yet whispers of hidden chambers persisted. Travelers in later centuries reported sealed doors in Hagia Sophia, never opened, and tunnels beneath the Hippodrome. The possibility of lost relics waiting beneath the city kept Constantinople alive in the Western imagination. Treasure hunters, pilgrims, and scholars all dreamed of rediscovering the holy icons that once defined Byzantium. Today, fragments of Constantinople's relics lie scattered across the world. From Venice's treasury in St. Mark's Basilica to relic chambers in Rome and Paris, pieces of Byzantine devotion remain visible. Yet none equal the power they once held together in the Queen of Cities. Separated by conquest and centuries, these relics tell of a unity lost, a civilization whose spiritual heart was broken apart. To trace them is to trace the story of Byzantium itself. Archaeology continues to search. Each excavation in Istanbul risks uncovering remnants of the Byzantine holy treasures. Coins, reliquary fragments, and mosaic shards hint at greater finds still hidden. The possibility that beneath modern streets lie forgotten relics keeps alive a mystery centuries old. Constantinople remains not only a city of memory, but of potential discovery, a place where faith, legend, and archaeology intertwine. The lost relics of Constantinople are more than treasures. They are keys to identity. For Byzantines, they proved divine favor. For Crusaders, they were prizes of victory. For modern scholars, they are echoes of a vanished world. Whether preserved in distant cathedrals or still hidden in the earth, these relics remind us that faith and history are inseparable. The secrets of Hagia Sophia, the Byzantine holy treasures, and Constantinople's relics are not only about the past, they continue to shape how we see civilization itself. Thus ends the story of Constantinople's lost relics. From the splendor of Hagia Sophia to the chaos of conquest, from relics paraded on walls to treasures sealed in vaults, the city's spiritual wealth shaped history. Though scattered across the world, or perhaps still hidden in shadowed chambers, these relics remain powerful symbols. They remind us of a time when a city believed itself chosen, protected by heaven's hand. The fall of Constantinople may have silenced an empire, but its holy treasures continue to whisper across centuries, calling us to remember the faith, the devotion, and the mysteries of a world long past.